This week, we got another incredible episode of the Book of Boba Fett, and it honestly may be one of my favorite episodes that we've gotten so far. So let's chat about it. This is Boba's Bounty. Welcome to Boba's Bounty. I'm Todd from the Black Squadron podcast, and this is the podcast's weekly Book of Boba Fett recap show. So this week's episode was titled The Gathering Storm, and I really enjoyed this episode. Everything from the use of the flashbacks this week to fill in those final gaps in Boba's post-Sarlacc escape story, to the way that Boba and Fennec's relationship was shown this episode, and we really got more of an idea of how that relationship grew, to the use of cameos. This episode did an excellent job of really answering some of those final lingering questions I had about Boba Fett prior to him taking Jabba's throne, as well as closing the book on those flashback sequences that have played such an important role in the show so far this season. I really liked how we got more of a look at Boba's motivations for taking Jabba's throne, sort of how his thinking has changed after his death by the hands of the Sarlacc and his rebirth with the Tusken Raiders, how the way that he views bounty hunting has completely changed. His desire to go from a single lone wolf hunter to kind of needing more of that tribe mentality, I think was really done and really showcases some of this character development that we've gotten over the course of this season so far. I thought the action that we got this week was really good. I enjoyed seeing both Boba and Fennec fighting in Jabba's palace to retake his fire spray gunship, watching them sort of figuring out how to work as a team when they both had worked as solo hunters in the past, kind of getting over their own challenges while working and identifying each other's strengths and weaknesses was really interesting. I think really set the groundwork for how the respect will grow over the course of the season. With regards to the present day storyline, I think that it was really interesting seeing how Boba's starting to get a better feel for being this crime lord and sort of figuring out the ins and outs of really ruling, how to navigate the different relationships between all the different factions in Mos Espa, how to bring people together, what he needs to strengthen his own forces against the Pikes, really getting inside the motivations of how he wants to rule as a crime lord in Tatooine. The cameos that we got in this week's episode were really cool. Everything from EV-99 to the knife droid that looked like General Grievous with his spinning arms with all the different knives. Little nod to the prequel trilogy with that. To the Lep droid that we saw in the Clone Wars, those little tiny waiter droids. Really interesting to see those. Of course, we got the seismic charge, which I love the seismic charge. I think it's one of the coolest sounds in all of Star Wars. So seeing that again was always something that I love to see. We also got to see a B2 battle droid arm on the Mod Father. When Boba took Fennec to that mod shop, one of the things that the Mod Father had was a B2 battle droid arm. So again, a nice reference to the prequel trilogy. And then, of course, the big cameo at the end of the episode is the Mandalorian's theme playing, which of course is setting up probably Din Djarin showing up either next week or some point in the remaining 3 episodes of this season. Overall, I think this episode did a fantastic job of closing the book on Boba's past while setting up the remaining 3 episodes of the season. If I had to give this week's episode a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it anywhere between an 8.5 and a 9. Again, I really liked this episode. I thought it was well done, and I'm excited to see where these last 3 episodes go. So that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Boba's Bounty. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes of Boba's Bounty or our main show, the Black Squadron podcast, that comes out every Wednesday. Also, leave a comment down below about your thoughts on this week's episode. What did you like? What did you not like? Overall thoughts, what you're excited to see in the next couple of weeks. Make sure to leave a comment down below. And above all else, remember, the Force will be with you always.